Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call Layim La Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakat, Wadash, and double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, peace. Salutation to the hopeful elect. All right. That's noise in his word of brow. Saying lifting up the standard of Yahweh Hashem outside. And I want to get into this topic real quick, man. If the spirit allows. So you got the tribe of Zebulon down there in Central America and in the regions of Mexico. And so the scripture says Zebulon will be a haven of ships, a border of ships. Okay, so one thing you got to understand about the tribe of Zebulon is it's just like the tribes. They're being controlled, inhabited by the so-called white man. The so-called white man owns all the presidencies in the Senate. Okay, when it comes to the so-called white man, he runs. He got puppet leaders in all these countries, whether it be South America, Central America, all these countries. The devil, so-called white man, he got puppet leaders set up like Juan Guaido. If you don't remember, a man by the name of Juan Guaido was responsible. Well, he was actually a CIA West Point graduate that took over for Maduro as a forced. He was put there as a forced a leader. You know what I mean? But so you got many examples of the so-called white man intermingling in the affairs of Jake. You know, a lot of people in these countries that are so-called sovereign, right? They're supposed to be democratically elected places where, you know, the people vote for a leader and all this stuff. Well, when we take a look at this guy, Nayib, his name's Nayib Bukele. Okay, he's a new hotshot, so-called president of El Salvador. Okay, and for those of you that know about, El Salvador, actually a lot of these Salvadorians in these regions where I'm at in Boston, all that stuff, there's quite a few. Not as much as a Cape Verdean or something like that, but then Cape Verdeans, they're damn near the whole country that is living over here at Providence and these different places. But with that being said, okay, so you got Bukele, right? He comes into the country and he becomes the president at an early age. He's like, I got some articles pulled up here, but give you a brief synopsis of the guy. He comes into the country, and they basically see him as a savior of sorts, and they make him this de facto dictator. He takes over and he cleans up the crime, because so-called El Salvador, they got a lot of crime, blah, 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 this and that. So he comes in there with his draconian measures. He takes out the Mala Salvatrucha, so-called, he arrests 70,000 gang members. And, it looks like he's showing progress in the country. But actually what's going on is that you got a heathen running things amongst our people. The scriptures say, if thou shalt set a king over thee, he must be one of thy brethren. Okay. And come to find out, this guy is a heathen. And he's a small hatter. Okay. His parents were small hatters. And that's why you see that on that picture. His woman is a small hatter too. So he surrounded himself with small hatters. And the small hatters put him into the office of the president of El Salvador. So this is the Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 40, 43. It says, the stranger that is within thee. So basically, the stranger that's amongst you, within your walls, amongst your people. What will he do? He shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. So even amongst your own country and your people, you know what I'm saying? You're ruled by heathens, your own lands. Okay, like if you go to Jamaica or something like that, or you go to Trinidad, the prime minister is bought and paid for, and sometimes they'll put a heathen up in there. But no matter if it's your people or somebody else, they'll kill him like they did the Haitian president, and they'll put up in there whoever they want to. Okay, so ain't no change. Oh, we're gonna change things for the better. You know, we're gonna make these people to be prosperous. No, that's not how it works. That's why your countries never prosper, even though you got all the resources, right? El Salvador got a lot of riches, Costa Rica got a lot of riches, all these different countries got a lot of riches, but come to find out, you know, you got heathens running the show. And the Lord said, you shall set up one of your brethren, you know, to be king over you. You know, one of your people. Your people is going to be has to be one of the tribesmen, you know, that's going to lead you, preferably, you know, what I'm saying the head tribe being the kings of Judah, but you know, the the nation of Israel. Let's say if you're a Zebulonite, you should have a Zebulonite ruling over you. All right, fair enough. The white man got a white man ruling over him. Well, our people are supposed to have sovereign rulers, but okay. So let's pull this up here. Uh, we got a lot of information about this guy. So you gotta know your enemy and how he operates. Okay, so it says this is actually from the Israeli Times. You know, you brothers out there, whatever. You know, you should tap into the Israeli Times. It's like blacklisted news, but you tap into that, and they show you a lot of these small headers how they get down and what they do, stuff like that. So this is actually from 2019, before he really came. Uh, he was about to get into the presidency, right? So it says Israeli wartime says February 7th, 2019. Nayib Bukele's grandmother was a Christian Palestine from Jerusalem, which didn't stop the president-elect from visiting in 2018. And this week he's recalling his stop at the Western Wall. So he went to pay a visit to the Small Hatters before he got elected, because that's where he's from. See, he's not even your people. He's a devil. It says his dad was an imam. His wife has Jewish roots. Meet El Salvador's new leader. This is your new leader, by the way. Okay, that's like, you know, for context, that's like when we was coming out of Egypt, the Lord would have had a Hamite leading us or something. The Lord would have had a Persian or an Egyptian, you know, or Edomite. That's like if the Lord had an Edomite leading us. Okay, the scripture says, Genesis the 49th chapter, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come. All right, and to him shall the gathering of the people be. So the word imam basically means a leader, one who proceeds from the Muslim religious faith, either from the Shunite or the Shittite. When you look it up, okay. So yeah, these basically his peoples are, you know, his dad was a religious Muslim leader. You know, his dad was a religious a small hatter that converted to the uh to the Islamic faith, which they say he's an Arab too. So I mean, there's a bunch of confusion. So you don't even know if this guy's because they're saying that he's Palestinian and that he got Jewish roots. All this confusion of the world, right? So it says his paternal grandparents were Christian Palestinians, Jerusalem and Bethlehem. They were Christians. She was a Catholic, and he was a Greek Orthodox. But his father later converted to Islam and became an imam, and his wife had got Jewish roots. Meet Nayib Bukele, the president-elect of El Salvador. Let's deal with the man himself. Okay, good. You gotta question these guys. You gotta question them. When Esau puts up a puppet leader in your face, you gotta question the mother sucker, man. You gotta question who is this motherfucker and why is why is this white man putting him up there? Look, the white man is not gonna propagate nobody unless they're wicked and unless they're puppets and following an agenda. The word puppet means one who when you read the definition, it says one who where is it right now? Okay, yeah, it says one who is equated by the will of others, one who does the bidding of others, overlords, masters, dramatic performance with puppets, one who is moved with a string, okay, like Geppetto or Pinocchio, you know, you pulled by the strings. You don't have no voice. You do what you're told. That's what these people do. So the small hatter set these guys up to oppress our people. So the 37-year-old, well, now he's like 40 something, but 42 or 43, whatever. This was the beginning before he became the president. Now it says who himself is not very religious. So this is supposed to be a guy who his dad was an imam, and he comes from the land of Israel, but he's not very religious, right? He says he believes in Jesus. On Sunday, he won the Central American country presidential elections with 53% of the vote and will take office in June the 1st. El Salvador is a country about the same size of Israel, with about 7.5 million inhabitants, is not considered a major player in international diplomacy. Nonetheless, Israel has welcomed the potential for a warm bilateral relationship. Look at that. Cozying up to the small hatters, just like LeBron. Cozying up to the small hatters, man. You know? It says we are looking forward. This is the Israeli Times. So you got to look at, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, tap into them. They got a lot of different information on them small hatters, man. Their tongue shall fall upon themselves. Okay. So it says we are looking forward to strengthening relationships between the two countries. Because the small hatters, you know, they want to get look at all these heathens, how they come up into our lands and befriend you and make relationships with you, but really their words are drawn swords. Just like the Chinese, what are they doing in Costa Rica? They're fucking Costa Rica up, man. With the they took a play out of the white man's book, because when you read the Creature of Jekyll Island, they tell you how the IMF, the World Bank, and the International Monetary Fund, and saying all these people, how they run games with the loans. They loan to these countries like Argentina. Since the 70s, they've been giving Argentina $20 billion loans every couple of years, and they can never pay it off, you know, which ultimately means that they're all enslaved. This is why the currency of the country devalues, and there's no prosperity, if you will, you know, because you got a yoke of bondage. It says, let's go back. Deuteronomy 28:43, the stranger that is within thee to get above thee very high. So the stranger gonna come in there and get above you very high in your own land, take your shit, live in the best places, you know, pop your women, and eat the best of your flock, while you gotta work in your own lands and be poor in paradise. You're poor in paradise, but the white man come down there with money and he owns shit. You know, he actually owns stuff, real estate and all kind of shit. Anyways, it says the stranger that is above thee, that is within thee, shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. So he's gonna lend to you. He's gonna come in there, and he's gonna lend you all this money, which you can never pay back. And then he gonna make you a stadium, man. He gonna make you he made us stadiums, bro. He made us the Chinese man. The Chinese man, he came in there and gave us like the free national stadium and all that, billions of dollars worth of infrastructure and shit. But what does it come? What's the price of industrialization? You know what I mean? Um, the price of industrialization was basically your soul. You had to sell out and become a feudal state for one of these people, a de facto feudal state. That's why the so-called white man doesn't want, you know what I'm saying, the Chinese over there and all that. But they're in there because they're fighting a war against the Americans, just like the Russians did with Cuba and the whole Cuban Missile Crisis. But that's another topic for another day. Okay. And they had missiles over there, and Fidel Castro. That's where you get the Bay of Pigs. Believe it's 63. Okay. But anyways, it says we are looking forward to strengthening the relationship between the two countries, said the Israeli foreign minister. Okay. Spoken about the friendship between, because they wanted to implant this guy, Bukele, in the government so that he could do their bidding. And it says in 2015, the Israeli ambassador to El Salvador praised Bukele as a partner for cooperation. But besides this, very little is known about his views on the state of Israel and the Middle East various conflicts. It says still Bukele, who until April 2018 served as the mayor of El Salvador, or the capital of San Salvador, came to Israel last year on a government-sponsored trip. Ooh, and is not afraid to talk about it. Yeah, well, why would he be afraid to talk about rubbing elbows with the big wigs over there in the land of Israel? Why would he be ashamed of that? See, you are who you resort to, who you hang out with. This guy was hanging out with the small hatters. There's pictures of this nigga in the Wailing Wall with both hands on there, praying like a small hatter, because he is one of them. It says the mayor of Bukele was in Israel to participate in the 32nd International Mayors Conference in February 2018, having received an official invitation from Deputy Foreign Minister Tizpi Hotoveli. Okay, so he got an invitation from the deputy director himself, the deputy foreign minister, I should say. Okay, he said this Friday I'm invited by the government of Israel concerning local agriculture, economy, education, everything. We are so happy to be reunited with the mayors of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. They got an official document signed here. This is from 2017. So a couple years later, he ends up being the president of El Salvador. How do you think that happened, huh? How do you think that happened? Huh? It says the conference, which was partly sponsored by the Israeli government, took him to Tel Aviv and Jerusalem in order to build relationships and learn about Israeli technology and innovation. Ooh, fancy white man technology. See, we was cool without the white man. We was here by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But you always got to go and seek the colonizer, like they said in the Black Panther movie. You got to seek the colonizer. You know, the colonizer come in there and now he's trying to take all your shit. It says, according to a press release issued by the American Small Hat Congress, which co-organized the conference. In the capital, he also visited the Yad Vashem Memorial Museum for the fake cost, if you will. All right. It says, at the time, Bukele introduced his wife, Gabrielle, a psychologist and educator, to then mayor of Jerusalem, Nir Barkat, telling him that she was of Jewish Sephardic blood. Basically, she's a small hatter too, just like you. Look at this. I'm a small hatter. My wife's a small hatter. My dad was a small hatter. My mama was an Arab. Oh no, his dad was an Arab and he was a small hatter. His mom was a small hatter. Well, according to the way the small hatters do things, his mama would be would carry the seed according to them. That's why they're adverse to the ways of the Lord. Numbers 1:18 said the poles are counted by the house of the Father. You know, the blessing of the Father established the house, Sirach 3:9. But the curse of the mother root thy foundation. So that's why the devil is known as the man of sin, because he does things based upon the mother. Now, that's why the society is called, a metropolis, a mother city. Everything's about the woman. Okay, the man takes a back seat in terms of the gender roles in society. Now, it says in this world, that's why it's upside down. It says, while the couple have posted family photos with Christmas trees on social media, this is supposed to be a guy who knew about the law, right? Aren't they the people of the Lord? It says the president-elect has indicated that he is not a deeply religious man. his late father, Armando Bukele Catana, which died in 2017 or something, 2018. But wow, his father died. He became the president of El Salvador. It sounds to me like a sacrifice, man. That's what it sounds like to me. But anyways, what do I know? Uh, it says after his parents left Palestine, converted to Islam, his dad did, right, and he became an imam, right, a well-known Muslim clerk. He always considered the small hatters his brothers. The president-elect said of Satana, or Katana, I should say, that's his father's last name was Bukele Katana. It says his grandparents came to El Salvador from Palestine, the land where Jesus was born. Ooh. It says, as children, Bukele said in 2015 interview that after he was confronted with an anonymous blog that criticized him for abstinently trying to conceal his past. Why this motherfucker was trying to conceal his past, huh? Why he ain't say, oh, I was born and raised in El Salvador and shit. And well, that's what he was, but he didn't want to tell you that. I mean, you could just look at this motherfucker. Look at his name. That ain't no goddamn Sanchez or Martinez. That ain't no Martinez, you know, or Oviedo or something like that, you know. One of these Hispanic names. He don't look like Jaime. He don't look like Jaime. This motherfucker look like Ishmael, man. Ishmael. Well, not, but we don't judge after the outward appearance, but the scripture say judge righteous judgment. Now, you know, upon further examination of the guy, you come to find out that the dude is a small hatter, man, and that he's been having great ties with the small hatters for many moons. This guy had ties with the small hatters for many moons, man. So you got to watch these guys, like all these black leaders that set up, you know, the Hispanic leaders, you know, they're set up by the government, you know, just like Martin Luther King. All right, another government operative, a Rothschild operative, you know. But if you tell the black man that, you know, he couldn't accept it. He couldn't accept that MLK and, you know what I'm saying, and Malcolm X and all these guys have all sold out. Bishop Nathaniel and all these dudes are control opposition. They do what they're told. They don't have to see. The scriptures say, if any man speak, 1 Peter 4:11, let him speak as the oracles of the Most High. If they're coming with this worldly shit, they're the Antichrist. Barack Obama is the Antichrist, like they used to say back then. When I first came into the truth, they were talking about Barack Obama. For like 2016 or some shit, 2015, 2016. I am Barack Obama. It's brother. You know? Well, any of these niggas that's not coming with the words of the Lord, they're anti-messiahs. You know. So your mama is an antichrist. Your mama, she's up there talking about you know, Jesus and my husband and all this shit. That's antichrist, man. Okay. The scripture say 1 John the 4th chapter. There are many antitypes, man. You know, as the elders will say. All right. Now, anyways, my father is in his adulthood decided to convert to Islam. Everyone knows he was a leader. See, he tried to hide this, but then he had to come out and admit that his dad was into Islam, and that because even the article said itself that he ostensibly tried to conceal his past, and from a 2015 interview. So it says everyone knows that my dad was a Muslim leader in El Salvador. Why was he teaching them this bullshit? Because that's the way of the heathens. The scripture says, "Follow not a multitude to do evil, learn not the way of the heathen." Right? Our people learn the way of the heathen because the leaders that are set up over them are the heathen, and women. Children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Isaiah 3:12. Children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Bukele, his daddy, and the rest of them were oppressors to our people. They wasn't liberating them and setting them free and showing them the way of the Lord, and they're saying, telling them about prophecies, putting breath back in them. Old bones can these as the scripture says, Ezekiel 37, valley of dry bones. The Lord said, what? Can these bones live? You know, look at these dry bones. Can they live? You know, they're not living because of these motherfucking Bukele. They're living because of brothers like you. You brothers out there, man. Is out there teaching their word. But anyways, that's the breath being blown in like a magical dust, you know. You blow the breath, and now the life is in there. The word inspiration means to breathe in. We've been inspired by the Lord to breathe in the breath, the life. Okay. Now it said my father had a very good relationship with small headers, with Christians, with Lutheran, Evangelical, and Buddhist communities. So see, that's another thing, confusion. The scriptures say the Lord is not the author of confusion. These guys come with confusion. You guys could worship everything. Everybody could, everybody could be part of this society. That's another thing, bro. These politicians, they come with their, God loves everybody. They come with their secular way of life. Okay, the secular way of life. See, the secular doesn't mix with the spiritual. Okay, that's why there's a separation back then. There was never a separation between church and state. The church was basically the state back then. You know what I'm saying? The popes and the different white man bishops and shit. They were all like the same. They were basically the same as the church. The church was the state, the same shit. But today, they give you like a little illusion that the church is not the state. The Vatican, when you read Revelation the 16th chapter, it speaks about the unclean spirits, 3 unclean spirits out the mouth of the frog, which is the false prophet. Actually, let's read it. It's going into the capitals of wickedness, which is Washington D.C. That's where the military might is. You got the banking might, which is out of England, and then you got the religious side of it, which is the Catholic Church and all that, which are all in cahoots with each other. So this is the way they dominate the minds of the world, of the people. You know what I mean? So Revelation 16 verse I think it's 13. 13. It says, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out the mouth of the false prophet. So the separation of church and state is not a real thing, because all these spirits, right? It says 14 verse, they're all one in one cahoot. So the Catholic Church is in cahoots with the bankers, the small hatters. Okay, and even Bishop Nate told you that. Bishop Nate told you that you had to get $1 million loan from the fund for the churches, and once you take that loan to get the building, you gotta teach whatever they tell you to teach. 501c3. Yeah, the church, how they wash their money. That's right. It says, so 3 unclean spirits, right? You got the false prophet, which is the Vatican. You got the beast, which that's where they get their financial power from the banking sector, which is coming out of England or the UK. That's where the Rothschilds are, and and then you got the American force, show of force. But the Americans provide the muscle. They're like the muscle, so they would be like the military branch. Like when you go to school, they teach you about the judicial, the executive, and the legislative branch. Well, in the wickedness, in the real world, you got the small hatters, okay, that run shit from England and from the land of Israel. You got the Vatican Church, the Pope, the rest of them, and then you got the American branch, which is the Washington D.C. Which this is where they call the orders from. This is where Congress sends out the missiles. They send the missiles from Washington D.C. They say, okay, we're gonna go to war. We're gonna go to war from Washington D.C., man. Okay, so it says 14 verse, for they are spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to the battle of the great day of the Almighty. So these are spirits that are controlling the minds of the people of the world, and ultimately, there's no separation of church and state. So that's why they say what you could be anything you want to be, because they want to cause confusion to the world, especially to you tribes, because you're the main ones that believe in this Christianity and this Roman Catholicism and all this shit. You're the main ones. Okay, the other nations, they don't have that much zeal like you do. They're not taken by the Bible, because they're not the people of the Bible. You are the people of the Bible. So hence why you're the target of all these campaigns, these Christian campaigns or crusades, I should say. This misinformation that they give you, you're the target of it. Now it says, so this is him stating his views. Personally, I am not a person who believes in the liturgy of religions. That basically means the authority of the religion. The liturgy is the office. The office goes into the authority. So he doesn't believe in the authority of religions, right? However, I believe in God. That's a double-minded man. James 1:8. I believe in God, though. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in his word. I believe in his word revealed that in the Holy Bible. And I know that, so why they're not teaching it if they believe? The scripture says, I believe, therefore I've spoken, because they're not the people. See, I know that the Most High does not reject anyone because of their origins. That's not true. See, that's bullshit. See, when you go out there and spew that, now you become a false prophet. See, oh, I don't believe that. I don't, because these guys, their job is to be a world friendly but politically correct, and to tell things uh, that are smooth. Isaiah 30th chapter. Okay, and our people love to have it so. That's who they vote for. Motherfuckers like Bukele, who's not even their people. A heathen man. You know? If thou, will have a king over thee, it should be one of your own, bro. And one that keep the laws, keep the word of the Lord, and well, that's what the Lord is going to appoint the head, which is Yahushua, and then King David, and the rest of the 12 and 144,000. Anyways, see, so it's going to be a righteous rulership, unlike what you got today, where you got niggas that ain't even your people ruling. It says, earlier this year in a lengthy Facebook post about his religious views, he reiterated that he respects all faith, but stresses that he himself is not religious because I'm not sure that there are more sincere prayers in the corridors or hospitals than in most churches. Yeah, another religious little slither that these people do. Everybody could be saved and so people could vote for them and shit. You don't piss nobody off. Well, the job of the man of the Lord is to piss motherfuckers off. It's to piss you niggas off. It's to rub your feathers the wrong way. Okay, that's the job of the true man of the Lord. Yahushua was on the scene. He was rubbing people the wrong way because he wasn't saying things that was adhering to the status quo. These motherfuckers adhere to the status quo because who's the guys behind them? You know how much money it takes to be a politician? Where you gonna get all that fucking money from? You gotta kiss ass, you gotta bend over, and you gotta do what you're told. If not, you ain't gonna be no motherfucking politician. My uncle, he went to the United Nations, okay, to represent Costa Rica, and you know what I'm saying? He was up there speaking for a little while, but he got to kiss a whole bunch of ass too, because he's part of one of these political parties. But he's always been a studious guy. He's always been into the books and shit like that. So he got into the political world, but yeah, he ain't got no power. He ain't got no power, man. He has no fucking power. Okay, he does what the office of the minister says, and the office of the minister, they do what the motherfucking smart hatters tell them to do. Okay, they got like a fucking 100 people over them, man. So you ain't, even if you're the president, you got like 7,000 small hatters over you, 7,000 wicked spirits, legions of demons. Okay, and that's what you push to the people. Right? So let's see this here. Okay, this was the it's actually 3 articles. This is the first one. So you got the other one, which states this here. It says so this is giving more context to this guy, more insight. It says okay, so Bukele was meet President Bukele, who became the de facto dictator, okay, of El Salvador. It says he is considered a famous young politician, despite being criticized for not having a clear political vision, but support due to a likable social media personality. See, that's another thing too. He's a friend of the world. See, also the duality of his religion, as he's from a Muslim father and a small hat mother, questions the truth of his affiliation, which made him receive the criticism for performing prayers in a Muslim mosque during the 2019 elections. That's something that they didn't do. The previous presidents that was of Israel, that was running the country back then, even though it was shitty, but they wasn't doing all that different stuff. Now he's bringing in the Muslim faith. He's bringing in the small hat faith down there. Not only were they already confused because they was into Christianity, Roman Catholicism, but now he's bringing all that other shit down there too to these people, so causing confusion. Now it says, while he publicly declared that he considered himself a follower of the Christian religion of the doctrine of the Roman Catholic Church, he defended himself, saying that he doesn't consider himself any religion, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but this came with backlash. Ultimately, he had to get the small hats help to become the president. Now, it says, okay, so let's get into what he actually did for the country when he got there. It says he replaced judges. He took the military by storm in the parliament. He replaced judges that he considered hostile. He put his own people in there. And overseeing the jailing of innocent people. Okay, critics say, okay, because he'll just arrest you because you got tattoos and shit, and because you may have did something in the past. So he arrested 75,000 gang members and had them all, violated human rights and all kind of crazy shit, right? Showing you that he did that under the wiles of the small header. And that's how he got all his information, his tactics. Where do you think he got the military might to do all that shit? It says on Sunday, he defiantly batted away criticism of his government's rounding up of tens of thousands of presumed gangsters. Do you expect that we, because we are Salvadorians, because we're second-class citizens or something, have to die? He said in response to a question from a Western journalist. These gangs have to kill our families. They have killed our children because your liberal ideas of what a democracy should be should have been respected. So basically, he doesn't even uphold the democracy. He's dictating what he wants to do in the country. He just arrests whoever he wants to arrest, kill whoever he wants to kill. Okay. So it said Bukele has previously denounced rare protesters for vandalism. Okay, you can't protest in the democracy. You're supposed to protest, right? My nigga, yeah. See, we don't believe in no democracies in this. Where did the Lord say, "Thou shalt have a democracy"? Okay, we're gonna vote for who's gonna rule and all that. But that's what they try to uphold in the West. But this guy's not even keeping his own democratic way of the American, the American small hat way. Bukele has previously denounced rare protesters for vandalism and called independent media and critics liars and defenders of criminality. He claimed Sunday that okay, no, this is not relevant. Let's move on to more relevant stuff. Because he made another little statement here. It says Bukele is a social media whiz, spinning his narratives with his sharp beard, who dictates presidential conversations in the eyes of the media. So he makes it seem like he's a likable guy. He takes pictures with Lionel Messi, a selfie in the rostrum of the United Nations General Assembly. Okay, he fosters a culture of personality. There's devotion to him. His charisma and communication skills are without peer. See, that's another thing too. A cult of personality. These people start to look up to you as a godlike figure, but because you come in there with your military might, the people start looking at you. Where the fuck did he get the military might to do all this stuff? From the small header, which he cozied up to back in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. He's taking trips, sitting there getting photographed in front of the Wailing Wall. Okay, so look, man, the pattern is unmistakable. Okay, you got to follow the breadcrumbs. It says in 2019, he graduated to the presidency, upending an unpopular corruption-riddled two-party system in power since El Salvador's civil war ended nearly 3 decades earlier. Okay, it's still as corrupt as it was back then. Okay, a free-for-all for power. Whoever does the white man's bidding gets the cookie. It says since March 2022, he has presided over a gang roundup credited with plummeting homicide rates, but also criticized for indiscriminate arrests, including minors and inhumane prison conditions. Okay, we're just going to take all these men and put them all in and round them up and throw them all in there, just like this guy Duterte. Remember Duterte? The guy called Duterte from Rodrigo Duterte or Duterte, however you pronounce the shit. The guy was from the Philippines and he was just randomly killing people. We're just gonna randomly kill these niggas, and without much evidence if they found some little weed on you, they'll kill you. Can you imagine living in a place where I remember having a little weed on me when I was a kid. They would have killed my ass in the Philippines. You know what I mean? That's fucked up, man. But anyways, there's no mercy, you see what I'm saying, with these people. And a lot of them Filipinos, man, are dicks because you had a lot of the Moors over there. Because the Moors went over there in slavery and stuff like that. And then, because a lot of those Filipinos have a lot of salt, man. So they did some of them go back to the tribes, whether it be Judah or Simeon or whatnot. Okay. Now, because you look at their women are fine. Okay. Them Filipino women are good looking. They look just like the Cape Verdean woman, thick like a damn racehorse. Anyway, it says El Salvador dropping violence is a success that the president likes to hammer home online, drowning out grumblings about creeping authoritarian and economic authoritarian authoritarian damn, I can't even say this word. Authoritarianism, basically draconian practices, right? And economic woes. See, so it says in the statement he said we changed the world's murder capital, the world's most dangerous country, into the safest country in the Western Hemisphere. That's not true. It's not true. That's not true. But he's going to try to spin his little narrative, right? It says not a fan of criticism. Bukele resorts to irony online. He calls himself the dictator of El Salvador and the world's coolest dictator. Okay, so he goes by the philosopher king on social media. It says when gangs vowed to kill people at random in response to his state of emergency, Bukele threatened to deprive all gangsters of food. That's a bold thing. I'm gonna starve the country. See, look at that. That's called a siege. Okay, you're not supposed to do that to your own people. Okay, but if these people, anybody that he deems a gangster, he could just jail them or take their food from them. No matter what the circumstances. There's no due process. What happened to due process, brother? Huh? What happened to due process? And you guilty? I mean, you're innocent until proven guilty, right? Ain't that the way of the American court system that this cocksucker learned in in Israel? Okay, because that's what he was doing over there in Israel. He was over there pleasing them white boys, like Kwame Brown said, man. You over there pleasing massa, okay? Well, that's what he was doing down there. Okay, he went down there to the small headers, and he got their blessing. He got their damn blessing to become the president of El Salvador. So he said he'll simply deprive the jailed gangsters of food in response to gangs vowing to kill people in a random response to the state of emergency, because the man called a state of emergency in the country where basically the country had to be locked down. I mean, you living in a militarized zone, right? You living like in the movies with the Gestapo and all that. That's how them Salvadorians are living down there. Those are Jakes. Those are Israelites. The scripture says you shall not oppress the hireling in his wages. They can't even work, goddamn. They can't even work. Their kids, what kind of fucking future they growing up in? They're growing up in these little shackles. You know what I'm saying? The women are all, either they got to whore themselves out or, they got to figure out some type of way to survive. Okay. So he's just making things worse. This motherfucking devil right here, he just made things worse. Even though in the eyes of the world, we have a great criminal. We're hard on crime. We're going to get these niggas. And see, that's another thing too, brother. The drug on wars, the war on drugs, I should say. That's a fucking lie, bro. Okay. They talk about the war on drugs. The only thing the war on drugs did was help them enslave random black men, random Latino men, and kill and take them from their families and shit, just for a little bit of an offense, just for a little offense. You get 3 strikes and you go to prison for your life, for the rest of your life. Well, in this guy's country, in this guy's regime, his rule, these motherfuckers, man, they don't get no due process. They don't even get that. They'll just lock your ass up and throw away the key. They ain't got no course. They ain't got no motherfucking due process over there, bro. If this man says you're a gangster because you got some tattoos and stuff like that, or whatever, and you give off this appearance, or you got a criminal record, you done for. No matter what you did with your, you done for. He gonna round you up, man. He gonna get you. So it says he ordered heavily armed police and soldiers to storm an opposition-led parliament and to intimidate MPs into approving a loan to finance an anti-crime plan. So he intimidates his other political rivals. That's like if in this country, if the Democrats ran up into the Republican House with guns and said, "Well, nigga, we gonna kill you if you don't approve this bill right here," they would have had a fucking outrage in America, man. They would have had an outrage, but because it's not covered in the news, in the worldwide news. But where did he learn these damn tactics from? From the small hatters, bro. Okay, he learned them tactics from the small hat damn devil himself. Okay, that's where he learned this mafioso like tactic. Okay, because the biggest mafia in the world is the small hatters, and the so-called white man as a whole. But the small hatters are the biggest mafia. They got the most power on the earth because the Most High. It said Job 9:24 gave the earth to the hands of the wicked. They covered the face of the judge thereof. They covered the faces of you brothers, you Israelites out there. They cover your faces with the face of a damn devil like Bukele. I don't want to see a goddamn devil up there ruling my people. A small hatter. In America, they got the white man sitting up there. But in your own countries like Jamaica, wherever, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Brazil, in Brazil you got a fucking woman, a devil, a Jew running the country, man. Or before you had, I think they took her down or took her out. I think it was a Dilma Rousseff or some shit like that. But she was a fucking small hatter. Okay, look at all the people who run these countries, man. They're fucking small hatters, man. They're small hatters. Small hatters, man. Devils. White boys. Okay, just like that guy Pinochet. Okay, and Francisco Franco, which he was running Spain for a long time. Okay, Trujillo, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they was fucking small hatters too. I wouldn't be surprised if they was, because they did some of the most heinous shit to the tribes, man. When it was up there running them things, them Simeonites, they could tell you about Trujillo. Them older Simeonites, they'll tell you about that. They'll tell you about them times he just kill people and take their women from them. There's this one story where Trujillo, they had this freshly born couple, newly married. It said she was a fine little Simeonite thing, and he just had her husband killed in front of her, so he could take her, like on some King David Uriah type shit. But at least King David didn't have that. At least he didn't do it that greasy. He just sent him to the front of the line. But yeah, that was the same concept, brother. Same concept. Okay, kill a man to take his woman. Okay, so that's what a dictator do, because the power, it just get to your head and you just But see, whether they were Jake or not, the point is that, what I'm saying, Deuteronomy 28:43, the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Okay, thou shalt, the 44th verse, thou shalt not lend to him, but he shall lend unto thee. Okay, he's gonna lend onto you. You gonna take loans out of his fucking bank. You're gonna go to him and you gonna say, can I get approval for this stadium? Can I get an approval for this here infrastructure project? See, because all the infrastructure projects that go down out there in any part of the world, they all got contracts based upon the white man, because he owns all the fucking wood, timber. He owns all the major construction gear, okay, and all that shit. Okay, where do you think they Callahan contractors? If you walk past any of these buildings, especially in America, but anywhere you go in the Americas themselves, you're gonna see a white man construction company, Callahan contractors, or this or that. That's what you're gonna see, because they own all the weaponry. I mean, the weaponry, but they own all the infrastructure and all like the cranes and the you know what I'm saying. That how you think the Panama Canal was built, huh? They had American contractors down there building the Panama Canal, man. That's why Panama is so rich. If you ever been to Panama City, man, that shit look like New York. That shit look like Miami, I should say. That shit is crazy looking. If you've been to Panama City, you think your ass is in Miami. That's how bad that shit is, man. They got all kind of stuff out there, and but the Panama Canal was responsible for making them wealthy. Because other than that, but you had to get the white man down there, and but that comes with a lot of different drawbacks. Okay, that comes with drawbacks, because once you let that motherfucker in your land, look at what he did to Ishmael. Ishmael didn't know they had oil up under there. Ishmael struck some oil because the white man was down there fishing. You know, that's what they're starting in the early 20th century. You know, in the early 20th century, they discovered oil down there, man. You know what I mean? And they had these white boy crackers go down there, and that's how Ishmael got rich with their relationships with the white man. But also, Ishmael has lost their way because their traditions are now they got moles in the land over there. You know, they got moles. The crown princes and all them are moles. Okay, so when you allow Esau in your territory, okay, you might get rich, you might strike gold, you might make partnerships. Because who came down there? Standard Oil, the Rockefellers. Okay, that's Standard Oil. Standard Oil, they had a monopoly on the oil in America back then. They got broken up, and because of the Anti-Monopoly Act, you know, which ultimately you can't have a monopoly over a market. You have to have a certain market share. You can't. So Standard Oil back then, which was John D. Rockefeller Company, he they was owning all the oil. That's where you get Exxon Mobil from today. If you go to Exxon Mobil, that was part of the Standard Oil. We get Texaco, you get all these different companies, man. Okay, they all fell under the umbrella of Standard Oil. But anyways, so going back to the point, the the white man went down there to Ishmael's land, and with their Standard Oil drills and their pipes and their maps and their fucking technology and shit. And they went down there and made Ishmael the crown prince. That's why he could go down there and buy Man City. He could buy Chelsea. He could buy Man United. He could buy PSG. He could pay Kylian Mbappe a hundred million a year, you know, because of the oil money. Okay. You could have Nasser Al Khalifi running the European Association of Clubs, where he's an Ishmaelite over there in Europe, but they'll let them come down there, and you know that's why you got the Dubai Expo, and you got you got all these different things going on, man. You know, you got the Dubai Yacht Club and this and that. You got the Burj Khalifa. Where the fuck you think they got all this money to do all this shit from? All that shit was a damn desert before the white man came down there with all his money and infrastructure and gave y'all what y'all got. Okay, so this is why the scriptures say Arabia, that has been Asia, so like Asia, that has been a partaker of the hope of Babylon, man, and that has been the glory of her person. You know, that's why when you read Revelation the 18th chapter, the merchants of the earth were saddened by the fall of America when they seen America going down, because that's how they got rich and that's how they continue to have their little kingdom or queendom, I should say. You know, where they run their little, they run their little heathenistic operations and shit. But hey, that's just the way of this world, the dirty game. You know what I'm saying, that these people play behind the scenes, all pursuant to Psalms the 83rd chapter, which is to be confederate against the children of Israel. It all goes back to Psalms the 83rd chapter. They are confederate against thee. They conspire against thee to throw down thy habitations. You know what I'm saying? The children of Israel. Let us cut them off from being a nation, that their name be no more in remembrance. That's why you ain't got no seat in no damn UN. That's why you got Nayib Bukele over you, and that's why your people are oppressed, man. But there's a freedom that's promised in the scriptures. Now, the freedom comes by way of the word of the Lord, the Lord how shall I return. That's why, as the apostle said, that's the greatest prophecy, the Lord returning. It says Psalms 12 and verse 5. It says, for the oppression of the poor, for the sighing of the needy. It says, now will I rise, said the Lord, I will set him in safety from him that puffeth at him. See, Bukele was puffing at us, man. The white man is puffing at us in our own lands. All right. It says, verse 6, the words of the Lord are pure words, as silver tried in the furnace of the earth, purified 7 times. Thou shalt keep them, and thou shalt preserve them from this generation forever. The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. So, yeah, you got You got the oppressors ruling over us, okay? Because the violence men are exalted. The most wicked niggas are running around running the earth, but that's only for a time. So it says Psalm 62 and verse 8, it says, trust in him at all times, ye people. It says, pour out your heart before him. The Most High is a refuge for us, Selah. Surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie. These fucking politicians and these people that's highly exalted in the world, they're a lie. All right. These little celebrity Israelite niggas, they're a lie. Okay. Scripture say that which highly esteemed amongst men is an abomination to the Lord. Okay. It says, men of high degree are a lie to be laid in the balance. They are altogether lighted in vanity. Trust not in oppression. Trust not in the fucking governments that are oppressing your ass. Trust not in the white man. That's the oppressor. John 8:44. The thief coming not, but to steal and to kill and to destroy. Oh no, that's the John the 10th chapter. I should say. John 8:44 say, "You have your father the devil." John the 10th chapter, the 10th verse say, "The thief coming not, but to kill, to steal, and to destroy. I might come that they might have life, and that they may have it more abundantly." Okay. So trust not in oppression, become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them, because all the riches of this world tainted. The Most High has spoken once, yet twice. I have heard this, the power belongeth unto the Heavenly Father. Also unto thee, O Lord, belongeth mercy, for thou renderest unto every man according to his own work. Okay. It says Psalm 55 and verse 2. It says, attend unto me, and hear, I will mourn in my complaint and make a noise because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked. For they cast iniquity upon me, and wrath they have hated me. My heart is sore pain within me, and the terrors of death are fallen upon me. Yeah, because look at our people, look at the state. You know, so the scripture says, because of the Lord's mercy, we're not consumed, man. It says Psalms 119, verse 143. It says, deliver me from the oppression of man, so will I keep thy precepts, man. Deliver me from the oppression of these damn devils. Ecclesiastes 4:1. So I return and consider all the oppressions that are done under the sun. Behold, the tears of such that were oppressed, and they had no comforters. And on the side of their oppressors, there was power, but they had no comforter. The comforter is the Holy Spirit. See, because that's why the Lord said, we're poor, yet we're rich. We're poor, yet we're rich, okay? Because them that are without are as dogs, sorcerers, right? Whoremongers, Revelation 22:15, right? So we are oppressed. See, the oppressors, they have power, but they have no comforter. Wherefore I praise the dead which are already dead more than the living which are yet alive. Yet better is he than both they which have not been, who have not seen the evil work that is done in the sun. So the tears of the oppressor, man, the tears of the oppression that are done under the sun. This has been going on for many moons. Yet still, jump down to the 8th verse. It says, if thou seest the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter. For he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. Yeah, the Lord is beholding all this that's going on. So if you see the oppression, marvel not, then understand what time we're living in, man. You know, that's why it says, Ecclesiastes 7:7, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, and the gift destroyeth the heart. That's why the Lord said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. You'll have this word to defend you. So Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge, the stability at times, and the strength of thy salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. It says Isaiah 5:7, for the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold, there was oppression. For righteousness, but behold, there was a cry. You know, the Lord's pleasant plants are being oppressed, man. They're being swallowed up, man. Okay. It says Israel, the house of Israel is like unto me as a speckled bird. Come, the beasts of the field, they come to devour, man. Jeremiah the 12th chapter. My heritage is unto me like a speckled bird, man. So Isaiah 54:15, it says, in righteousness thou shalt be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression. But thou shalt not fear from terror, for it shall not come near thee. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me. Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. See? So whosoever is gonna come up against us is gonna fall, man. But hey, this is why, you know what I'm saying, we have to remain faithful and seek the words, the ways of old. Jeremiah 6:16. It says, seek out the old paths, wherein is the right way, not this bullshit here. So let me read that again. Isaiah 54:14. In righteousness shalt thou be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression, but thou shalt not fear from terror, for it shall not come near thee. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me. Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake, man. So the stranger that is that's within thy wall should get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. That's the prophecy. But the Lord said, I will make a way out of this for you, man. All the curses that befell you, that befall your enemies. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7, man. All right. So you shall be far from oppression, thou shalt not fear from terror, for it shall not come near thee. For behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me. Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for my sake. For thy sake, I should say. All right. So with that, they call him like Hawa, Bashem, El Shai, Bashem, Kodash, double honors to the apostle, his great millstone, peace, citation to the elect. Never trust that enemy, for his iron rusted soul, his wickedness. To catch a wolf, you gotta think like a fucking wolf. Okay, you gotta know the wolf's MO, and you gotta understand how he plays and the dirty games and shit. That's why we was overcome by this devil. But the scriptures say, what? Um, we are surely not ignorant of Satan's devices. So this is one of his devices, setting up puppet leaders and doing all this madness. But the simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned. So the prudent man foreseeth the evil and hide himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. They inherit folly, man. So with that, shalom. Call him like I'll bust him and once again. The boss of the great master. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom.